Today, we're going to the best planned estate in Africa, and in case you're wondering where we are right now, we are in Surulere, Lagos. Remember these towers? There are 6 in total. These are Eric Moore towers. We'll be trying to avoid traffic in order to get to our destination. Let's take left. Oh, the sun is hitting the camera. That's not good. Yes, we are back on track after all the traffic in Mile 2. Of course, this is Mile 2 Badagry Expressway. It is under construction. That's why a lot of vehicles avoid this area because of heavy traffic. We are going to the best planned estate in the entire Africa, and as a matter of fact, it used to be the most beautiful. In fact, back in the 70s when Festac was built, there was no other estate like it in the whole of Africa. In the glory days of Festac in the late 70s, 80s and early 90s, many foreigners who came visiting to Lagos always demanded to go and experience the ambience and lush that existed in Festac. Even fellow Lagosians who were envious of Festac residents back in the day, they always wanted to tour Festac during the weekends to see the beautiful homes and the overall aesthetics. Also, back in the day, it wasn't unusual to see tourists walking around and taking photos in Festac. Back then, oh, it was heaven on earth. Everything just worked. At night, the lampposts illuminated everywhere. All the roads were looking clean without a single pothole. There wasn't washed out paints on buildings. Everything looked clean and nice. And of course, the cold Atlantic breeze adds to the Festac charm. You know, in case you are undecided about moving here, Festac is the place to be. It is kind of placed in the center of many cities around. Apapa and Tinkan Island is close by. Alaba Market in Ojo also close by, and Aspanda, that's the trade fair complex where they sell auto spare parts and the rest, is also nearby, just a stone throw. Surulere and Lagos Island are a few minutes drive from Festac. And also on the other side, Okota is easily accessible through Apple Junction. Of course, you know where Apple Junction is. Festac being along a major expressway, the Mile 2 Badagry Expressway is a major advantage, and very soon the metro line that will run along this expressway will start running. You'll be able to go to many places by train while completely avoiding traffic. You know, in Festac, there are many types of duplexes. The biggest of them all is the Type 10, which is called T10 for short. There's T9, which is smaller and detached like the T10. You also have the T8, which is a semi-detached duplex, and many others. There's also block of flats, bungalows, and a lot of open spaces where you can exercise, play football or basketball. In terms of nightlife, Festac isn't doing bad at all. It is up there with the likes of Ikeja, Surulere, Lekki, and Apapa and others. There are a lot of nightclubs, bars, and hotels in Festac. What about jobs, you might ask? Talking about jobs, blue-collar jobs are available in Festac, just like every other estate. Also, there are white-collar jobs. As you can see from the areas we drove by, there are many financial institutions that are operating in Festac. This is as a result of the explosion in the population of Festac, so they are here to take advantage of that. There are many things to like about Festac. The road network, the interconnectivity is unbeatable. Although some of these are dead-end streets called close, like you will see along the road, many roads lead to another one, and to another one, and to a major road. This is especially good for avoiding traffic. You know, it's not good having one major road where every vehicular activity or motorists use. Yes, many of these inner roads have gates installed by the residents because of security and sometimes to stop non-residents from using the roads. This to improve the exclusivity and tranquility of these areas. Also, nothing beats an underground sewage system. There are pipes running along the road with manholes for servicing, and each home connects to the sewage system, unlike the more expensive estates where each home has to provide its own septic tank. You know, the duplexes in Festac, although many residents have done extensive renovations and modifications, They do have large bedrooms and sitting rooms, unlike what is obtainable in new estates where bedrooms are tiny like hotel rooms. I think developers should look for new ways of building homes or find new materials to make the homes cheaper instead of building tiny homes. Yes, the purchasing power is lower than what it used to be, but that shouldn't be an excuse. There's also the underground cable system, which makes the whole place beautiful and uncluttered. Although these days you can see overhead power cables in some parts of Festac, this might be because of burnt out underground power cables or vandalism. Talking about electric power, back in the day you wouldn't see power transformers around Festac because they were hidden inside and well protected, unlike in most estates where power transformers are open and just in a cage, you know. Also, the open spaces in Festac is unbeatable. It's just out of this world, unlike in most new estates where developers make use of every inch of space. They want to maximize, and capitalism at its best, you know. Yes, now Festac has lost some of its beauty because of a lot of people have fenced their homes, which is largely due to security. Back in the day, if you stood in between two buildings, you will see the end with many buildings well aligned till it coils or ends. It made an exciting view. There are other ways developers can avoid building tiny homes. They can, for instance, build a 3-bedroom duplex instead of a 4-bedroom one, or instead of building a 3-bedroom apartment, make it a 2-bedroom one. It might not significantly reduce the cost of the building, but it is better to live in a home with a large enough sitting room and with lots of space. They can also research and use other materials. Even in Festac back in the day, the builders used thick fiberglasses on some of the buildings. Although you can find dual carriageways in many estates, but what about double service lanes and a central one with one of the deepest and widest drainage systems around? You can only find this in Festac, not anywhere else, not any new development, not any new estate. It's only in Festac. There are many things that make Festac stand out on the crowd. Of course, already said, it's got wide roads, underground sewage system, the power cables are all underground, the drainages are all covered up, especially in the areas near the homes, which is very important because drainages do smell sometimes. It reduces your chances of getting bitten by a mosquito, you know. In Festac town, you can also see how the engineers built proper curbs. Look at that! No modern estate makes room for parking or shoulder along the major roads. You can see how cars are parked without stopping the free flow of traffic. Right now, Festac is no longer what it used to be. That's very clear. That's an undisputed fact. The roads are bumpy with a lot of potholes. Everywhere is dusty as a result of that. The authorities or whoever is in charge, is it the Lagos State government or the Federal Housing Authority, or is it Amu or Duffy local government? Whoever is in charge, let them stop sleeping on their jobs, fix the roads, fix the decaying infrastructure, clean the dirt, and restore Festac to its former glory. Residents should also endeavor to dispose their waste properly. Do not litter the environment. Some people have turned the roadsides to mechanic workshops, as you can see in all the areas we passed. There are also buildings on the buffer zone. Someone should take care of that. You know, the authorities shouldn't all be interested in collecting taxes, tenement rates, land use charges and all that. They should come back here and restore this environment the way it used to be. Thanks if you're watching. A little history about Festac town. Festac was built to host the Second World Festival of Arts and Culture in 1977. Originally, Festac had 5,000 homes, which included duplexes, bungalows, and block of flats. It was meant to be home to about 50,000 residents, but for the 4 years after, as you can see, the population here is now more than 50,000. is more than 10 times that of the original plan, and that has put a lot of pressure and stress on the infrastructure. In spite of that, if you look around Festac, you can see that there are lots of trees, which adds to the splendor. Trees are lacking in many new estates, especially the new ones in Lekki, where a small duplex costs more than $200,000. This is because the developers maximize the space, the roads are tiny, without shoulders or parking spaces, everywhere is built up, the houses are too close to each other, which doesn't give enough comfort, it doesn't give room for privacy, and even the plot sizes are too small. In some estates you have only one entrance, but that is not true in Festac. Here you have 1, 2, 3 and 4 entrances. The first entrance is the one we came in from, where there is the gate. It is called the first gate, and down the First Avenue by the right there's another entrance, a link bridge that leads to Raji Rasaki Estate, Amuojiare and Apple Junction. There's another entrance called the second gate that leads to Abuju Market from 2nd Avenue, and the last one is one of the 7th Avenue called the third gate, and from there it leads to Satellite Town. One more interesting thing about Festac is that after the festival in 1977, the government awarded some of the homes to the participants, and the rest they did a raffle draw, selling tickets that cost 2 naira, 3 naira, 5 naira, 10 naira, depending on the kind of home you wanted to win. Some of the original owners actually got their homes for a measly 10 naira. That was when Nigeria was swimming in petrodollars. Actually, that time the Naira was exchanging for 50 kobo to $1. New developers should take a cue from Festac. They should all come here and learn how to plan and develop a new estate, whether they are building it in Lekki, Ibadan, Onitsha, Oka or anywhere. They should all come here and see the beautiful planning in this small city that is still unbeatable to this day. If we could have this kind of standard back in the 70s, we should have something better for the 4 years after. Alright, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't done that, and remember to enable notification. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of the video, guys. As always, thanks for watching.